Hello, party people. Where's my microphone? Hello. Hi. How are you guys doing? I'm over here on the computer today because yesterday just whipped my butt, y'all. This thing. I've got to be over here. Hi, good morning. Good morning, Karen. Good morning, Marsha. Hi, Rosanna. Hi, Mary. Hi, Donna. Hi, Nancy. Hi, Patty. Hello, everybody's here. Giggles is here. Oh, hi, Bixby. Hi, Bixby. Put my phone on Do Not Disturb.
I turned on Do Not Disturb.
Thank you. Hi, Lisa. Hi, PK. Good morning. Hello. Everybody's here. I'm glad you are doing better, Karen. Certainly understand not wanting surgery. Oh my, what is going on? Doctor says wants to do surgery. Oh no. I'm so sorry to hear that. I hope you don't have to do surgery. I gotta move this over here because I'm old and blind and I can't see anything. You stop being naughty. Good morning, good morning. Okay, so if you are new here, I am Randy for Thunderhorse Descendant. Yesterday, we had a humongous sale on this channel. The biggest sale I think that we've had in a long time, and I was up here posting all the things until like 8 o'clock last night, and I got them all posted, so I'm super excited about that. And now I'm tired, so I woke up in disarray. Although Jefferson was taking care of the animals, so that was nice. But also, we got a lot of stuff to do this week with the show coming on Friday. So Jeff made all of my jewelry table standy up things out of wood and displays, I guess you would say, and I have to paint them, so I'm probably going to do that today. I do have a bargain bead box video that I have to edit. Shannon's shipping right now. I got up this morning and made all the free gifts, so we got that going on, like things and stuff over here. I finally finished some projects with my July bargain bead box. Good job, Brooke. It was a great sale. Now I have to be good for the rest of the week. The week, right, Mary? Not the month, the week. The sale was fantastic. Good morning, Debbie. Is getting ready to see the surgeon this morning. Oh. Well, good luck to you going to see the surgeon. Hopefully it all works out. Please send some of your energy my way. Well, some of my energy got a little depleted, apparently, because today I feel kind of, not, I guess I'm tired, but I also feel kind of just like more disarray than normal, like my brain. So when that happens, I try not to do too many things because I'll mess it up. And then Shannon's got to go behind me and she's like, what are you doing? You got half the Halloween kits made. You got half this stuff sorted out. Got half these things posted on Etsy. So I'm like, yeah, no. We're just gonna chit chat this morning. Good morning, Joanne. And all you lovely chatters, enjoy being here with you. Oh, well, we're so happy to have you. I do kind of feel bad because I invited a few people to the live this morning who own Etsy shops. So a thing I did last night is I reached out to a bunch of bead box subscription companies, and I sent them a little note, and I was like, hey, I want to do this. So I want to do this thing on my YouTube channel where I do like unboxings of bead subscriptions, and I was wondering if you wanted to maybe donate a box to be unboxed on the channel. And I found a couple of people on Etsy who are small business owners who have bead subscription boxes, okay? Or bags or whatever. They have bead subscriptions, monthly bead subscriptions. So I reached out to them and I told them the deal. Like, I just kind of gave them the example of like how I do bargain bead box, And I was like, I kind of want to do that with a bunch of boxes just for this one time, just to see, what's out there. And I want to share it with the YouTube, with my Thunder Chatters. And I had a few people message me back, and they said they need to think about it. So I said, well, come on over to the morning coffee so you can see how we're doing with all of our beads. And then here I am not beading. So I did reach out to Sam. I reached out to Sam to see what he had to say. Good morning. Good morning, good morning. Hi, Laverl. Good morning, Bonnie. The problem beater is here. Oh, Bonnie, I forgot to tell Shannon about our conversation last night. I was going to tell her. She was probably looking at them orders like, what is going on here? I'll have to tell her when I get off the live. Good morning, Cynthia. It's a big sale hangover. Oh, is that what it is? Sad. That's sad. Well, this is kind of a thing that happens to me when I just go. Because I don't know if you guys know this, but like I don't ever have really like days off. And if I do have days off, it's like half a day, or I got to work triple on Thursday to have the day off. So I just generally don't take days off. But then, around some times of the month, I'm just like, I need to nap. I need just a nap. Nap would be good. So, but it's quite helpful. I have a lovely team around me. I have Shannon. She's doing all the wonderful, spectacular, amazing things. And I have Jefferson, who is doing cooking and laundry and taking care of animals. And I'm just like, okay, I'm going to just do show things now and YouTube things, and I cannot be bothered with anything else right now. Please leave me alone. Good morning, Rebecca. Mary, I sold 2 necklaces. Oh, yes. So I heard Rebecca sold 2 necklaces. Now, it reminded me when she messaged me this morning that I had sold some amber skulls in the sale yesterday. Amber and resin skulls, right? And so here's the thing. When I posted those on Etsy, and this is for anybody who has Etsy shop, I did not photograph them, so you might have gotten a message from me, like if you ordered one of those skulls, you may have gotten a message with your listing that said, one of these items isn't listed because of Etsy. Because if I list it, even if it's in a custom order, even if there's a photo that might look like something, or it's in the description, or whatever, so I just put skull in the description so that it wouldn't get flagged, because then they take those posts down and then they can't go back up for 3 days once they realize that they're not against their rules. And this is all due to that court case that they had where that kid choked on a bead or something, or somebody was giving kids beads to chew on, amber beads to chew on as teething things, and something happened to the kid. I don't remember. But anyway, so FYI on that. We're avoiding Bing words, which kind of sucks. And I messaged them and I was like, you were trying to make a liar out of me, and I do not appreciate that. They don't care. They don't care. And that's why we're starting the pilot program on Square. And also because they put 5 of my listings on last week in the deactivated list. So here's the thing. They send you this message and they say, oh, your items have been deactivated because they're possibly like bad. Well, I have read these rules numerous times. Me and Shannon have both read them. Hi, Ruth. What's this say? Hi, I was just wondering what I can use to not be between what can be strings. Should I use bead or between my knots or between my beans? Beans? This is Ruth, and I love your guy, and I love your videos. Okay, what? So you're knotting beads? Is that the deal? What kind of string should you use for knotting beads? Is that correct? So I use Ceylon. Ceylon is what I use to knot beads. That's what I use. Ceylon. You can use other things as long as the holes in your beads are big enough. Anyway. So teething necklaces. They were trouble waiting to happen. Yeah, I don't know why anybody thought that was a good idea. But I think it had something to do with, they were saying that it was kind of like I don't know. I don't want to say it, but like kind of like an old wives' tale kind of thing, or like whatever, that such and such was good for teething for babies. And they got this idea, and anyways, it didn't work out. So, anywho, but Etsy sends me this message, and that's fine. They're like, oh, these are possibly bad listings. We put them in deactivate. We're going to review them, and then we'll activate them again. Okay, so there's a few problems with this, and this is one of the reasons we're running the pilot program on Square. Number one, me and Shannon have studied the Etsy handbook. We know what's illegal and what's not illegal. Okay, but they said, well, it's possible. It's possible because they're running an algorithm of things with Bing words, with pictures, with these, like even girls named Amber were getting all of their things deactivated. That's what I'm talking about with like the algorithm, okay? So, okay, but the problem is you pay for that listing to go up. You pay 20 cents when you list it. They deactivate it, and then you're losing those 3 days. If they review it in 3 days, that's the thing. You know how quick they are, Etsy. You know how fast they are. So sometimes it takes 5 days, whatever. But here's the thing. They send you an email, and they say, here's where you can click to see all the things that we've deactivated in your shop, or the item that we're talking about. So I click it, and it just takes me to my shop. It doesn't show me what the problem is, why I'm getting this problem. It just takes me to my shop. So I call them and I say, hey man, what's going on here? And then they say, oh, well, we don't have that list. Well, what do you mean you don't have that list? If you're the one taking it down, you should know what it is. And then they're like, well, which one of your listings is missing? And I was like, I have 900 listings, but there's these 3 for sure that I know are not there, you know. So then we got to go through the SKU list and we got to look at it, and that takes time, and ain't nobody got time for that, okay? So whatever about that. And then they go, oh, just kidding. Never mind. It was fine. Yeah, we know it was fine. So the thing with Amber that you need to know, which is in the bylaws of Etsy, is now it is that it cannot be less than 1 inch long. I think that's what it is. Less than there's a 1/4 inch. Whatever you're selling cannot be teeny tiny. It can be big. It can't be teeny tiny because of a choking hazard. That's what it says in the bylaws. So they gotta take this photo and figure out if it's small. And apparently that takes 3 days. And I ain't got time for that. I always use teething gel on my baby's gums and Tylenol. Whiskey is much better and safer. Heather, no. Do not give your baby whiskey. Did you know, did you know that when you start introducing alcohol at a young age that you're creating problematic issues that could possibly come out in the future? Don't do that. Hi, Becklin's Beads. Yes, Rebecca's got her bead shop up. I think she sold 2 necklaces this morning. I used those freezy chew things. Yeah. We survived. Well, you might have survived, Karen. Anyway, so yeah, I'm having some like bead fatigue today. Bead fatigue. What? How's your other site working for you? No, you are just testing it, but is it doing okay? Yeah, it's doing okay. So I did find out a couple of things. A couple of things. Number one, with the doing invoices. So originally I wanted to use Square. Okay, now if you're new here, Square is different from Squarespace. They're not the same thing. They're 2 different sites. So Square, we're talking about Square like the one you plug into your phone and you use at the craft show. That one. That one has a website where you can build your own website. So I built my website, super easy, not hard at all. Lovely time. It's up, it's working, it's running. Now the back end of it is, I think once I learn more about how to work it, for all the things I want to do, it's going to be good. So we're going to do a pilot at this show where I'm going to put a couple of jewelry pieces, because they say that these things are all connected, right? So I'm going to put a couple of jewelry pieces into the square, and they're going to be listed online, and I'm going to take them to the show and hopefully sell them, and they're supposed to come off online. So I want to see if that really works. So I'm going to try that. I mean, clearly it must work. Everybody says that it works. Why would I doubt that it's working? I have trust issues, okay? Especially with inventory. It's different when you're selling 800 t-shirts that are the same, but when you have like one amber necklace and you said you sold it over here and then someone buys it online and now you don't have that stuff to make it again, that's a problem. I think that it frees your brain for creativity later in life. How is your other site working? So the invoice situation, the reason I wanted to switch to Square originally is because I thought the invoices were going to be good for me to use for like when after the sale, right? So like yesterday, after the sale, I would be able to pop in there and do invoices. No, that doesn't work. It doesn't work because it's not connected to e-commerce. So what that means is basically I can make a really lovely invoice in there. I can put my stuff in the inventory list in there, and it's really easy to populate. It's super easier than how I'm doing it now. The problem is that it's not, because it's not hooked to e-commerce, it's not calculating the tax correctly. So I can either shut the tax off and there's no tax, but then you're gonna get an invoice that is incorrect. So it doesn't have your tax rate on it. So also it doesn't know that I'm going to ship it. So it's not creating a label. I would have to do all of that manually. That's not something that we want to do. So we've decided what we would do once we do a little run through of it, which we haven't done yet. We will do it the way we've been doing it on Etsy, where you get your photo, same way. You get your photo, you get your itemized list of everything, and then we'll just put it for sale in the shop under your name, and you'll purchase it there. When you purchase it there on e-commerce, on the website, it's going to calculate your tax rate for your state, which is what I need, and then it's going to collect all of your shipping information and let me know that it needs to be shipped. And so the program understands that, so we have to do it that way. But I'm kind of like not had a lot of experience with it yet. I've had probably 5 orders. I think we got another one today, so maybe we'll look at that more today. But yeah, we want to get all those bumps figured out before we just jump into moving the bead site over there. However, one of the positives of this is that it's cheaper, and we don't got to mess around with anybody else's rules about what you can post on the online, on your store. You don't have to worry about Amber's going to be a problem, even though it's not a problem. You can tell the truth, and you don't have to be a liar about what you're selling. It's great. Good morning, Coral. So, yeah, I can show it to you guys. You want to see it? Does anybody care about this? Let me see. So I will show you the square, and I'll show you the back end about what I'm talking about. So maybe if you're thinking about getting a website, maybe this will be interesting to you. Maybe not. Maybe you're bored to death, but it's what it is. This is what I'm doing today. Maybe you'll like it. So I'll show you the actual site. So let me see that. Okay, so I'll show you the front end, which is what you guys see, and then I'll show you the back end, which is what I see. Okay, so let me see, 6, no, web surfing, 5, here we go. So when you go to the website, this is what it looks like. This is Thunderhorse-descendantjewelry.com. So this little thing is going to pop up so that you can sign up for the newsletter. And then these are the things that I have on the site. So this one actually sold today, one of these things that sold. So that was kind of cool. But anyways, this is what it looks like in the front end. There's not very many items on here. Let me make it bigger. Okay. So over here, let me move my face out of the way. Okay, so over here, these are the categories. Oh, hold on, I'm touching buttons. These are the categories for the jewelry. So the idea is that if we had, when you very first come to the site, you come to the shop page. So I believe it was Rebecca who suggested this. So originally how these are set up, they make you go to a home page, which is this one. And I think it was Rebecca who had mentioned that it's kind of cumbersome when you go to a home page on the mobile, because then you have to, in order to get into shopping, you have to go down here to shopping to shop all. And she said she didn't really care for that. So I took that feedback and I switched this to not be the page that you land on. So the page you land on is just the shopping page. So you just come here where you can see everything for shopping, because that's why you're here, right? Shopping. Okay, so then you have categories. So we have been talking about this, and we are really considering putting everything back into one website. How we would do that is with this website, you would have to go to the home page, and then there would be two buttons like here that say Bead Store or Jewelry Store, and you would have to pick one. It's kind of the idea. So once you picked one, then you would go to the shopping, and then over here, if you're in the Bead Store, you would just have beady things. And then the like jewelry store would be up here. So if you wanted to shop beads and then go shop jewelry, you would have to switch between the two, but they would have subcategories. So you're not just going to see everything all bunched together. So that feedback I gained from going to Beading on a Wire, and I seen their category setup, and especially on mobile, it's so like much. It's so much. I was just like, no, I don't want to do that. I was like literally scrolling for categories for like 800 years. I was just like, okay, no. So it was overwhelming. So I decided that I will probably do that when we switch over. So anyway, this is the front end. You got your home, you got your about me. This is where it talks about my little story. It talks about me being a counselor, how I started beading. It's me and my bear dog. When I started my Etsy shop, la-di-da. You want to give people this information so that they can get to know you. The shopping, and then I got some customer reviews, and these are all from my jewelry customers that I had from in the past, so those are up there. You always want to have some reviews. Contact me and then shop now. So anyway, down here on the home page, this is our Instagram feed. So I don't really Instagram that much, but they didn't allot for like anything other than Instagram. I would have preferred to have my Pinterest here because I like Pinterest more, but whatever. So it says explore our Instagram. And then this is a little donation place because people like to donate to my dream of getting a storefront, like an actual storefront. People send me things on like PayPal and whatever. So I just put that at the bottom. So now that's the front end of the store. So this is the back end of the store. So this is what it looks like in the back. I'll show you, let me zoom in. Okay, so this is what it looks like in the back end of the store. So this is designed for you to have an online website, be able to go to craft shows, have a store. Is there another one? No, there's three. It's designed for you to have all of those three things, but in one platform. So I like that because in the future, I'm going to need that. But the problem right now is that when I come here, I have to go, I'm not quite sure. Like it says they're all connected, but I don't know if that's necessarily true. So anyways, I go to online, and here it tells me that I haven't had any sales today. Dismiss. This tells me how many people have visited my page. So I have to keep making this bigger when I go to a new page so you guys can see. So over here, It says this is the website, and this is where you can edit your website, you can add a domain, and this is where your items are. So this is just kind of very different from what me and Shannon are used to. So it doesn't like pop up right here on this main page like, oh, you have an order online. It doesn't say that. I don't know if I can change that, but anyway. So if you had an order, you have to go over here to orders. Okay, so there's your orders. I'm not going to show that because that has fulfillment. Overview. That has people's information on it. Anyway, so your orders are here, but it doesn't show you like, oh, you have orders. It just, you have to like go and manually check it, which I think is weird. And it doesn't have a notification for my phone. Not that I don't have one. I mean, obviously I check it every day. I'm an online store. But that's just weird to me. So now they do have fulfillment. So fulfillment is like if you were selling a lot of things and someone else was shipping it for you, like some other company, you could attach those here. There's a lot of, this is a very complex system, and honestly, you guys, it's not a lot of money. As long as I can figure out how to work it better, I'll be doing good. So I go here to items, okay? So let's say we want to add an item. This is also interesting. It's good. I hope you will send them suggestions for improvement. Well, I've talked to them a little bit. Okay. This is what I told you guys the last couple days that I've been really scared of. So these are the items. This is a inventory tracking system that I said that I was just scared to death to try to use, right? But obviously it must work. But I'm just like, I don't know. Trust it. So, okay, if we wanted to, these are all the items that I have listed. Now, some of these I was using as examples because people were helping me. They were ordering beads, but I was putting them on this website so I could see how it was working, how I was going to do the inventory. So some of these things are sold out because we were able to add them to an order, but some of these things are listed online. Okay, so like, we'll just click this one. The blue sea glass gear charm. Oh, that one's sold out. So this one is sold out, but it's basically the same as Etsy. You put your name, your category, your description. Okay, so this is the thing that I'm struggling with. So I wanted to sell this to Rebecca. So I had to go onto Google and figure out Culpeper, Virginia sales tax because it was not giving me sales tax for my invoice. And I can't be doing that for everybody because first of all, I don't even know where most people live. Like if they've ordered from the store before, I know, but like if they haven't, say it's a new person, sometimes I don't even know their name and we're making a little card that says, welcome to the group, Mrs. Tacos, you know, whatever. So that was problematic. So I do have other sales tax on here, but I have to add these manually. I also manually have to add them to items. Okay, so that's a little strange. But this is, if you're using Square, if you are using Square Reader and you're going to craft shows, you're used to this. It just looks different because it's on the computer. But you are used to this because when you go to your show, you look up the sales tax for that area, wherever you are, and you put that into your Square Reader so that you're charging the right amount of tax when you're at the craft show, right? So this is the same system as that. So a lot of these I have put in for when I went to craft shows. I went to craft shows in most of these places. I got to get used to doing it on the online. So it has a place for a SKU, and then this is the how many items do you have thing. Wait, view stock. So I don't like this. You see this little button that says stock? This is all it is. It's not like a big thing that says like, hey man, put in your inventory. It just says this little button, and then you're supposed to just press it, and it says low stock alert, which I have a low stock because it's sold out. And then it says this is unavailable online because I marked it as unavailable online because this was going to go into an invoice. So because there's 3 things, it makes it a little bit kind of hard. But here's how you would just create an item, which is easy. Like if you were just using this for one thing, it'd be really easy. Like you just put in an item, put your picture here, put your SKU number, put your price, and then manage the stock. Okay, this is where I get scared. So this is manage the stock, and you put tracking on it, which means it's going to track it through all of your systems. You have to select a reason that you're putting this stock in there, which is interesting. So the options are stock received, inventory recount, damage, theft, loss, and restock return. So I would assume that most of the things are going to be stock received, and then you have to put this in there. See how they're gray? You see how it looks like you're not supposed to be putting things in there? I think it's aesthetically, I just don't like it. Whoops. I can't use that. So, okay, I put 15 in there, and then it's supposed to show me that I have 15 in stock. You can put an alert on it that says, when this goes down to 3, let me know so I can get more stock. So, yeah, I don't know. Anyways, and then right here is where you set it to Square Online. So this is how you show it, how I show it on the website. So I just make it visible to the website, and then you'll be able to see it there, whatever it is that we're putting. But if it's unavailable, that basically means that it's in the inventory, but it's sold out. And this hidden one means that it's in the inventory, but I haven't launched it yet. And those are manual things. I don't know if they have bulk. Let me see. Cancel. I don't know if they have bulk inventory stuff, but anyway. So this is the inventory stuff. So this is a little confusing to me. I feel a little not trustworthy of it, but I'm working on it. And then discounts, this is where you can set up your sales and stuff. I got to work on this sales tax thing. But there is a lot of really easy options for down here once you get everything going. There is a lot of really easy options for like send an email to all the people who signed up on your email list, and it kind of like generates one for you with your new items that are connected, so you don't have to fill in any like coding. You don't have to like copy the website, put it on there, make sure it's going to the right place. Like it just automatically does that kind of thing. It has really good ways to work with your customers once they're in your system. Like once they're in their system, it works out really well. Like this virtual terminal, this is another thing that is interesting. Like if you didn't want to have a website, you wouldn't have to. But let's say you're selling things on Facebook, but you're not taking Facebook payments. You're using PayPal or whatever you're doing. You could use your Square, and then you would just use virtual payments, because any item that you put into your inventory, you don't have to show it on a website, but you can make a little, it'll at the bottom of the item, it'll say, make a checkout for this, and you make a checkout, and then it'll generate a little thing, a link that you could send to the person, and then you could send it on Facebook Messenger, email, or whatever, and then they'll pay for it. They just pay for it and they get their item, but you didn't have to list that stuff online or do anything like that. So if you're not like an online person, that works out really well. It's almost like being in person with the person and using your Square. Like if we were just sitting here and you were like, oh, I love your necklace, and I was like, oh, I'll sell it to you for $15, and you whip out your credit card. It's virtually the same thing. It's just on the computer. So that actually is a really nice feature. Things and stuff. Where am I at here? So it's a lot of things that I just have to learn, but I can do it. When I was counseling, we learned so many programs, and it's like as soon as you get to know the program, and those are, like you gotta have notes, and you gotta have your treatment plans, and you gotta have all these things. There's all these things, and as soon as you get to know the program, they change the program. So it's fine. I can do this. I have been trained how to do this. It's fine. I just have to figure it out. And then once I figure it out, I can show it to Shannon, and then she can figure it out, and we'll be good. But I didn't want to just be like, let's switch everything and move all the inventory and do all this stuff. And then we have issues. I would prefer to do the piloting and the like little baby steps, and we're working on stuff, and we're working on stuff with our customers who love us and are like, yeah, it's fine, figure out your system, who are willing to be guinea pigs, like it, So that's a thing. Randy, you are eventually going to eliminate your Etsy store. Yes, that's the plan. It makes sense today, but tomorrow, yeah, it's okay. I mean, there's a lot of people, a lot of small businesses. This is where I find like solace in all of these things that are overwhelming. I'm just like, a lot of people are doing this. A lot of people are using these systems. They say that they work. The people who are using them, who know how to use them, are saying they're very good and that So I'm like, okay, I can do it. We can do it. You are eventually going to eliminate your Etsy store. Well, I think what I will do is I will leave some items on Etsy so that people can find me on Etsy if they're unaware of me in other platforms. So I'll probably leave, say, like 20 items on my website on Etsy. So if I get any what they call organic traffic, like people just stumble onto me. But for my people who are actually following me, those things are going to all be posted on the website. And the reason for that is because I can tell you right now the reason for that. This month, as of August, what is it, 16th, 2022. So, half of the month for August, I have paid Etsy in fees $700. In shipping, I've paid $400. And in marketing that they make me pay for, I have $61.41. So that makes me kind of upset. In the last 3 months, I have paid Etsy $2,594.09 in fees, $2,781.60 in shipping, and their marketing they make me pay for $163.27. That's twice as much as what Square's going to charge me. And then some. That's only the last 3 months. This year, all of this year, which isn't over yet, almost $6,000 in fees, almost $6,000 in shipping, and $500 in marketing that I don't want. So that's fine. I understand why they do that. I get it. Like, you're a business, you're using a platform, la-di-da-di. I totally understand why you're charging these fees. I have no problem paying the fees. The problem that I have is that when I do have a problem, like with them taking down my listings when there's no reason for them to be taken down, when it takes them an excessive amount of time to review my listings that shouldn't have been taken down, because you're in essence you're hurting my business, because I know that they're fine, I'm following the rules, you've looked at my things 18 times, you know that there's nothing wrong with them, they're getting tagged because of an algorithm. Fix your algorithm. But then they don't do that. I also don't like that they just come out with things and they just say, oh, now we're going to do this. So like yesterday, I got on there and I opened it up and I said, oh, good morning. And Etsy said, now your customers can leave video reviews on your reviews, which is fine. That's fine. But they just decided that. Nobody like let us know that was going to be a thing. Like they just implemented it. They also switched around all the categories recently. Now there's certain categories you can't use. And there's these little things. You know, when I started up the jewelry, so remember when I split Thunderhorse and made Thunderhorse Descendant jewelry Etsy store? That Etsy store was in, I don't know what they call it, probationary period for 3 months. It just got out of probationary period at the beginning of this month. I think I got a message. And that means that whole time they were keeping all of my money. And I was like, what is this? And I was asking Shannon, and we went and looked at it, and these are new rules for new shops because you have to gain blah, 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 whatever. So I'm like, okay, I get it. It's a new shop. Some people do shady things on the internet. I'm like, fine, whatever, it's fine. But they held all my money for 3 months. And I'm like, how's anybody, like, this is not how this is supposed to be working. So on top of all of those things, I mean, I like Etsy. Etsy's really easy to use. And I think that it's a good spot if you're starting out. I started out on Etsy. It's easy to get started on Etsy because it's cheap to get started. But once you're started, like all this that really makes me upset with the marketing is, you guys know I don't pay for marketing. The reason I don't pay for marketing is because I'm out here doing my own marketing. What we're doing right now is my marketing. Me doing a YouTube program every day, that's me marketing myself. That's me being on the internet. That's me doing beading. I'm doing all of that for myself. I don't need them to do it for me, and I don't want to be charged $500 for something that I don't want, but you don't have a choice in that. If you make over X amount of money on Etsy, they make you pay for it, for marketing. So I'm just like, there's these little rules that I just don't particularly care for, and there is some limits to, like, now it's getting to the point where they're tagging everything, you know, and it's like, it's beads, you know, it's this, it's that, they're tagging everything, which would be fine, but they're using these algorithms that don't even make sense for, like, handmade sellers. Like, of course there's going to be beads on the internet with handmade sellers. Like, how are you going to make an algorithm rule that says, oh, you can't sell anything under 1/4 of an inch? What about all your bead people? That doesn't make sense. What about your jewelry making people? That don't make sense. So I'm just like, okay, well, it is what it is. I need to go. Everyone have a great day. Okay, bye, Karen. I'll see you tonight on the Facebook Live. It will be outside because they fill up inside. They must have a lot of bandwidth. No $100 bills. Someone is passing bad ones. Oh. Holy crap. Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know. I'm just like, okay, well, I think maybe just be easier. And the other reason, oh yeah, here's their little advisor thing right here. It says, here's your messages for today. Buyers can now leave video reviews on your listings. Also, make the most out of Etsy updates and encourage buyers to visit your shop again and again by setting up their emails or whatever. But when you set up those emails, you're giving, like, it makes you, like, give discounts and stuff, which is fine. But, like, sometimes they're using that, they're saying that's a marketing tool, and then you have to pay for that. I'm just like, no. But they don't say that up front. People will try anything. Anyway, that's not the point. Whatever about Etsy. Etsy's fine. But also, because as me and Shannon were talking this morning, we're really serious about trying to get an actual shop, like a brick and mortar shop. And I know some of you are like, Randy, that's crazy, especially in this economy. La-ti-da. Okay, but we want a little tiny shop with a little tiny shop in the front where you come hang out with your friends, do beading, whatever. We sell our jewelry. Everybody's happy. We can have milkshakes. It'll be good. And in the back is where we have, like, all of the stuff in the inventory. We do all the shipping and we do all the online orders and the la-di-da-di-da-di, right? And so this system that I'm trying to implement right now is not only going to work for me right now, but in the future, it's going to work for me, right? So I think that that's going to be the best way to go. So that is nice. Also, I have reached out to all of these bead companies, as I was saying. I reached out to all of these beading companies to ask them if they would send me over one of their mystery boxes or their subscription boxes or their grab bags or whatever they got going on, so that we can get those going on the channel, because a lot of people have said that they're jumping ship on some of the shipping, on some of the subscriptions. Some people said that they see a lot of like unboxings of things, like unboxings of subscriptions, but not really a lot of making with the subscriptions or the stuff that they see. They were like, oh, we want you to do this. So I asked some of the companies if they would send their stuff over so we could have a marathon on YouTube. Super excited about it. Expensive. What about pens? Tell me more about counterfeit pens. My boyfriend works at a bank. You wouldn't believe the things people try. Oh my goodness. Oh, to mark and see if your bills are counterfeit? I know, isn't that crazy? It's crazy. People just be crazy. Huh. Anyway, so that's all I got today. I gotta get my head right in the game here and figure out what I'm doing. I gotta make a list of priorities, and I gotta get that taken care of. Oh yeah, they have pens where you can check and see. Have you ever seen them at the grocery store? If you give a large bill, they always make a little mark on it with like invisible ink. Yeah. But yeah, I gotta get my head right and figure out what I'm doing with my life here today. A list of priorities. So I think the priorities are going to be painting the jewelry displays, because I'm ombreing them in blue and turquoise like the other ones that I have. So I gotta do that. And editing the YouTube video, recording another YouTube video, figuring out what we're gonna do on the live tonight, going to the post office. I gotta go pick up my order from Walgreens. What else am I gonna do? I don't know. I'm sure there's other things. My friend has a fabulous bead store in Rockport, Texas, and it is awesome. And they have beading classes and bead inventory and margaritas. Well, there you go, Heather. That sounds like a wonderful time. Well, minus the margaritas for me, personally. Where? Yeah, that's what I want to do. Minus the margaritas. We're going to have ice cream. We're going to have milkshakes. And that's what I want to do. And I'm super excited about it. But we got to make YouTube make us all the money. Coffee. Yeah, we could have coffee. We could have coffee and milkshakes. We could have coffee milkshakes. That would be great, honestly. Anyways, you guys, this is my ramblings on for today. Sorry about all the things and stuff, but I'm just like, I'm over here just trying, just being a real person and everything. Today's just kind of, and it's been gloomy. You know how I get in the gloomy? I don't do very good in the gloomy. I get like not motivated to do things, and my artistic abilities are less in the gloomy, and there's less light, and I just don't like it. That's my mad face. My little fist. Yeah. Cake. Oh yeah, we could have cake. We could have cake, and then y'all could come down to the store on cake night when we do the drawing, and we'll still do the drawing live, but you guys could all be at the store and we'll just all have cake. And then you won't have to bring your own cake if you're in the store, because I will have cake, but if you're online, then you have to bring your own cake. Anyways, you guys, I hope you're all having a wonderful, spectacular, amazing beading day today. I'm going to try to make something today. I got to before I do my video because I gotta get my fingers figured out. But I will be back tonight for Facebook at 8 o'clock. What else we got going on? What day is it? Post, Shannon left me a note. It says post Labor Day items if you have any. When is Labor Day? Isn't Labor Day in September? Yeah, it's on the 5th of September. Shannon writes notes on my calendar and tells me what to do. Specifically for days like this. Are we going to have a sale on Labor Day? Isn't that a thing we're supposed to do? I guess. Oh, and I'm also going to make more bead kits. So we were in debate about if we're going to go to the store this week. We got to figure out where I'm at with all my stuff. If we don't go to the store this week, that means we're going to dip into personal stash and more chain and Halloween kits and beadie packs. Which would be fine, I guess. We haven't done that in a while. So, I'm humming and hawing about that. Humming, is that a thing? Humming, it's not humming. Humming and hawing. I like humming better, that's better. You guys, more coffee is required. I gotta get this day started. I hope you all have a wonderful, spectacular, amazing day. More cleaning. Oh, Mary, why? You know what I will say about that girl, that book that I've been reading about the decluttering girl? Although I don't really care for a lot of things that she says, I do listen to her when I clean. Like when I do dishes and stuff, even though she's just talking about cleaning and I'm like, I'm just doing my cleaning. I will say it's helpful. Jeff's friends, pewter stuff that I love. Oh, get that? Heeing and hawing, Barb says. Humming. You guys. Hemming and hawing? Is that the fly lady that you listen to? She's the, no, she's not a fly lady. What is her name? I don't know what her name is. It's called Decluttering Your, no, not Decluttering Your Life. It's called Decluttering for the Rest of Us, or something like that. And she just talks about slobification, so she calls it. Slobification. And she's just like, do your dishes. And then like every 5 words, she's like, do your dishes. Your life will be better if you do your dishes. Did you do your dishes today? Did you put your dishes away? Are your dishes put away or are they air drying? Get them off the sink. Do your dishes. Then sweep your floor if you have time. Take your kids to practice. Come back and then make sure you do your dishes before you go to bed. And every time at night, I'm sitting there and I'm like, I'm not doing those dishes. I'll get up early in the morning and do those dishes. I'm like, no more tonight. I'm going to bed. But it's kind of funny to listen to her while I'm doing cleaning stuff. Anyways, guys, I hope you have a wonderful day. I would love to see what's on your mat. Join us in the Facebook group and let us know what's on your mat today. We would love to see and support you. And I will keep you updated on what's going on, but I will see you tonight at 8 o'clock for the Facebook Live where we will probably actually do beading. Probably. Bye, guys.